with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Dawson pointed at me, which made me talk. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just listening for a sound cue. Every once in a while, there's a story that comes out and 42,000 people send it to me at one time. Today is one of those days. And between friends, family, listeners, I just want you to know, like, I'm safe. I got it. Don't worry. But I'm so glad we're all on the same page and reveling in the happiness. Monday, Moderna announced that its COVID-19 vaccine is more than 94% effective, which we knew, preventing COVID-19. And that's all great news. But here's something that none of us knew until the past 24 to 48 hours. An unexpected celebrity who helped make this happen. And that person is Dolly Parton. So back in April, I've gotten this story from every walk of life. So back in April, Parton donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in the effort to combat COVID-19, which included Moderna's vaccine trial and their clinical research. And you'd think, well, that seems like a very Dolly thing to do. And of course she did. And that's so interesting. But being the fan that I am, I realized another connection. She did this in the name of a friend of hers who I believe is Dr. Naji Aboumrad. And I thought, why does that name sound familiar to me? Well, I don't know if you know the radio host and podcast host, Jad Aboumrad. He does a podcast called Radio Lab.
I'm sorry, but I miss Marcus Welby. Like, everyone is like,
Mike Rowe.
Well, just call him Dr. Fizz because no one can pronounce his last name.
We should do a game called Esteemed Doctor or Uber Driver.
Yeah.
So the reason why there's a connection there is he's the one who hosted and produced the Dolly Parton podcast series, which it's called Dolly Parton's America. It's fascinating. It's phenomenal. I recommend it. And in maybe the first podcast, I would think it was, he said, why am I interested in Dolly and how do I have these connections, like, to get into her life like this and her family? Well, he said, well, my father and Dolly became very good friends. When they lived, near each other in Tennessee. Well, I would imagine that Dr. Naji Aboumrad is the friend that Jad was talking about. That's his father. So it's very nice. She did it in his name and sent them $1 million check. And so if the Moderna vaccine works, let's all tip our cap to Dolly for help getting that across the finish line.
It's something Gina might be the wrong person to ask because she's so ensconced in Dollywood, but there's been a Dolly Parton renaissance. Dolly Parton was sort of a punchline when I was younger, and now every time her name comes up, says, "Oh, I love her. She's the best. She's the dearest. She's the greatest songwriter. She's the greatest." Like just in like the last 4.5 years, it's been just she's the best. I did not hear a lot of "She's the Best" in 1997. You
don't think I am incredibly aware of the Dolly Parton bandwagoning?
You're spearheading it.
Well,
I've loved for a long time.
No, but I was only saying that maybe you're too close.
No, I get it. But I am very aware that she is having a renaissance, and I love that. I mean, she's still putting out albums, and they're great.
She has a Christmas album, like either out or coming out. Adam, I think I agree with you. When I was growing up, Gina, well before your time, Dolly Parton, the appreciation felt kitschy, like she was appreciated by a sort of kitschy, ironic group. Yes. And now the people are acknowledging she could really sing. She's a great songwriter. She's a philanthropist. Like she's kind of weirdly authentic. Like you don't think of Dolly because the cosmetic surgery and stuff, but like she's who she is.
She even said,
Well, yes, it was a kitschy kind of, it was like you appreciated her like you appreciated John Waters, but you didn't really think of him as a real director, but he was kitschy, and that's what she was. And now it's totally legitimate.
Yeah. She even said, I'll look as young as my doctors will let me look. I mean, she owns that shit.
Get that drop, please. Mm-hmm.
She's a brunette. You wouldn't know that because she has 14,000 wigs and she wears them all.
Those are wigs?
Okay. Yeah, and she just, she has the imagination library. This is stuff she's had forever, but now she's getting a lot of credit for this stuff, which is fun for the fans.
I'm going to put her at the top of my list of worst people to be pushed into a pool.
Why worst? Oh, just she'd melt.
Yeah, it wouldn't go well.
How would she come out of that pool?
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
I thought she'd be buoyant, but
no, I'm talking about the wigs.
She survived, Gina.
You push, Kendall Jenner into a pool, she comes out better.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Dolly would probably agree. I fully plan on my wedding, which has not been planned, to walk down the aisle to Dolly Parton's Pure and Simple. So I get it, and I hope you're all ready for that. Another celebrity in the news, Conan O'Brien, will end his daily TBS late night show in June of next year. And he's not going away. He's going to HBO Max. So Warner Media announced Tuesday that the comedian will end his 10-year run at TBS in June. But in addition to a deal, we'll see him host a new weekly variety series for the company's streaming platform, and he's going to continue doing his popular Conan Without Borders specials on TBS. But there seems to be a slow and steady migration over to HBO Max.
10 years he's been doing it. So 10 years since he was sort of ousted from The Tonight Show.
Right. Yeah.
Have you guys seen a moment of his show in 10 years?
No.
I have not.
On TBS?
No.
Couldn't even tell you.
No, I agree. It's one of those things where I think it's like multi-million-dollar contract for very few eyeballs, which is what you want. That's what you want, everybody.
He must have hardcore fans, right?
He definitely has hardcore fans, yes.
So remember the other day we talked about backyard brawls and the fight club that was just broken up in Brooklyn? Well, this gift just fell in my lap when I looked at this morning. We have a new bare knuckle fight champion, and his name is Ulysses the Monster Diaz. Do you know, does that name mean anything to you? I don't know if you're into that world or not.
No.
I doubt it. Okay.
Love that guy.
He knocked out Donale Benedetto. And he did it in well under 3 seconds, 2.2 seconds. So usually we don't show, crazy knockouts because they make all of our teeth hurt. But this is comically fast. This is the Bare Knuckle Championship, 2.2 seconds. Ulysses the Monster Diaz knocking him out. Here we go.
Hands. Knuckle up. Round number one. There's that fast.
Oh, Jesus.
That might be it. And that is the fastest
Dives over, celebrating.
in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship history.
I'm going to have a hard time beating that.
Yeah, it's a round 20-foot ring. It's round. It's kind of interesting. And where did that take place? Like in Mexico?
That's a good question.
I saw the word Kentucky. I don't know if that was like a bourbon or something, but I thought I saw the word on the ring.
Can that stuff be sanctioned? I mean, it was only 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, New York State did not allow the UFC. Remember that?
MMA, yeah.
I mean, all this stuff is barely legal. Like MMA is barely, brand new legal to, New York or New York City.
You men and your barely legal
And not
content.
the good kind of barely legal either.
Right.
I'm looking at Forbes right now to see where it was.
Can you put the picture up again, Chris? Maybe I'm completely making it up. I thought it. It says knuckle up, not Kentucky. I'm stupid. Sorry.
All right, it's all right. Yeah, we'll figure out where it is. It's got to be, it's not in California. It's not in New York. It's got to be somewhere.
It's on a barge.
Fight Island?
It's on a barge.
Somewhere.
Like Dana's Fight Island.
Somewhere where the restaurants are open and people don't wear masks. That's where
I'm guessing.
That's what
or
I'm
gloves.
guessing. Yeah, or it's in international waters or something.
It went down in Miami, Florida.
Well, that sounds about right. All right. Yeah, it's again. This is my mistake. If you can't figure out something, it's in Germany or Florida. So we should have known. All right.
So France is begging its people who are parents to please stop tossing your children over fences to the point where they've had to say something in their newspapers. I think we have the picture. This is a real sign in France. They would very much like you to stop doing that. So
what is this? Some kind of kiddie Highland games or something? How does this work?
Stop throwing students over the gate. And the reason is simple. When the school day begins, the gate is closed. So parents who've been arriving late with
they're locking them out for being late.
Throwing them over the gate so they could get to class. The sign shows a cartoon of a parent hurling a small child over the fence. And the text says, please stop doing that. And the gates close from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And school officials say there have been a few cases of kids being tossed over. Nobody's been hurt, but they would very much like people to stop doing that.
I pulled a power move today. I drove Natalia to school in my bathrobe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I picked Tess up from school last night in my slippers.
Not even close.
That's cute.
No, I aspire to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So now we know that Natalia's her urge to be dropped off is more powerful than her urge to not be embarrassed.
I thought she was going to protest, but maybe she's given up the ghost. I don't know. The bathrobe is so hard to get out of. And you know what it is?
Soprano shit.
So I have a thing. I have this efficiency thing, right? So I didn't get in the swimming pool before 8 a.m. So I was going to drop the kids off and then get into the swimming pool and do my cold plunge. And, out of modesty, when the kids are around inside the house, I'll pull on my Tommy Johns before I jump in the pool. But if no one's around, I'm going on natural. So I was like, I would have to take this bathrobe off, put on a T-shirt, lift up some trunks or some gym shorts, drive Natalia in, and then go back and take them off. But if I drive her in my robe...
Cut out the middleman.
I cut out the middleman. Then I'll walk right out of the car, walk out to the pool, drop the robe, and go right in the pool.
Wait, I'm sorry to be pearl clutchy here, but you were naked under the robe?
I believe I was.
Wow.
And I got
That's a power move.
I got to tell you, that pool was frosty this morning. And when I stepped out naked, I was like, I wish I had my Tommy Johns on, because I looked down and it was a sad state of affairs, man. It was not good. It was cold.
Concave.
Yeah, I must have been. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, I think you're right.
Shrinkage.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Definitely some shrinkage. Get that book. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is. Ooh.
Now, there is no. I did not drop her off. I don't drop her off at the drop-off center. I drop her off sort of around the back way, so there's nobody around. Yeah.
Okay.
Dumpsters.
I don't walk
her in.
Yeah, I don't walk her in, but
walk her to the front office.
Yeah, I'm worried about the slippery slope aspect of the bathrobe now, because I've told you all the time, this is how you fuck up your slippers. For Christmas, someone gets you some really nice suede slippers with like a fleece inner lining or whatever, and you're like, oh man, these are beautiful, and then you make the proclamation like somebody does. Yeah, I'm looking at your slipper right now. It's perfect.
It's on my foot.
You do this. You make this proclamation like a young rock star does when he buys a Ferrari. Like, nobody smokes, nobody eats fast food, and then 3 weeks later, there's McDonald's, rolling around on the passenger floor. So you get the nice slippers. And you say, I'm going to keep these nice. I'm going to keep these nice. And you put them on, and at some point, you start making that little deals with yourself. Like, oh, I'm just going to the mailbox. I'm just going down the driveway. It's not raining.
Yeah.
Just going out. I'm going to grab something from my car. It's in the driveway. What am I going to do? Put on wingtips? Come on now. So you start doing that. Then once you get outdoors, you get kind of comfortable now. And then there's also a lot of sole conversations. Well, these things have a rubber sole. Mm-hmm. So what's the big whoop?
Shoes.
Yeah, they're like shoes. And the next thing you know, you're at the Trader Joe's, and the next thing you know, and then they get all fucked up because now you're wearing them out like shoes. So I may be going down that road with my robe.
I'm living that life right now. Christy got me these slippers because all I can wear during the day because my feet hurt so much from medication is slippers. She got them for me 3 weeks ago, and I'm right in that mode where I'm like, I'm just going out to the front gate, closing the front gate.
Right. Yep.
At the risk of being Homer Simpson, you need a road robe.
I know.
Oh, I didn't even see that episode.
Just the way he would roll. Like you need your indoor robe and your outdoor robe.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
Oh, good. Thank God, because we have been so hot on auction talk, and we've had some doozies, but this one's the best one. It's not going to be beat. This will probably put a little bow on auction season for now because you're not going to beat this. Belgian racing pigeon. That is a hot sport in China, gambling sport booming in China. And Belgian-bred birds are really, really a thing to behold.
How do you think it worked in China? Like, do you think there was some meeting where some proclamation was made, which is, look, we love gambling. We're obsessed with gambling, but we're only going to gamble on weird-ass shit and weird forms of poker and weird card games and weird chance games. 21, feh. Texas Hold'em, no thank you.
Yeah.
NFL, NBA, gone.
Pass.
We have to do really fucked up. But we love gambling.
I go till I die.
But it's all fucked up weird gambling. We're not going to bet on horses. We're going to bet on pigeons.
That's right. So... do you want to guess do you know this story? Do you want to guess okay. So there's a bird named New Kim fetched a world record breaking price for pigeons at a pigeon auction. 2 Chinese bidders operating under the pseudonyms Hitman and Super Duper battled for the
Doesn't
bird.
sound Asian
Rejected
at all.
Avengers.
As the 2-week auction wound down early Sunday, Super Duper came out on top. Now, they think that Super Duper might be this Chinese industrialist who set the previous record last year for the most expensive racing pigeon. That pigeon's name was Armando. Any guess on this year's new world record price for New Kim, the racing pigeon?
Well, they must breed them, right? Because otherwise,
yeah, buy them and breed them.
Yeah, buy them and breed them.
Yeah,
but otherwise, what's the shelf life of a pigeon?
You, sir, are a smart man because New Kim is a female pigeon and Armando is a male pigeon, and they think the same person bought both birds.
Printing money at that
$1.2 million.
Okay.
I was going to double it just because Gina was so crazy about it. I was going to say 2.3.
Brian, are you insane? No, actually, it's pretty much down the middle. Well, at least this time, $1.9 million for a street rat pigeon.
Hold on, I'll
year,
play the role of my mom. For a bird?
Yeah.
Does anyone need a bird that badly?
Well, when you're racing, you can make a lot of money gambling.
There are kids who go to bed every night with an empty stomach.
Yeah.
And you're buying a bird?
They can't have this bird.
The wealth and quality.
My mom's math was always somehow if you bought a crown jewel, like if you bought a crown with jewels in it, if you weren't using that money for a jeweled crown, you would be buying textbooks for inner city kids. Like, why would you take that money and allocate it toward clean drinking water for the kids of Detroit? It's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah. Good news, Mom.
That's not the choice.
I know.
So last year's bird Armando went for $1.4 million. New Kim went for $1.9 million.
Well, they must breed them because what is the life of a racing pigeon? And by the way, if you are a racing pigeon, you're one windmill or Cessna or seeing your reflection in a skyrise window away from zero value.
Or a clever hawk.
Right, a clever hawk.
They seem to live for about 6 years in the wild.
Oh, get going while the getting's good.
All right,
I'm all seeing that racing pigeons, if well looked after, can live for up to 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember, I found a racing pigeon in this very parking lot years ago.
Oh, that's right.
And I fed it, and I called the guy, and he said, just give him water. He's tired. And then I had to put him in a box because the guy was so excited that I found this pigeon that he's been missing for months that went and raced and finally came home. And I put him in a box, and I left him outside of the gate, and the guy just picked him up over the weekend.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say you left it in your car, and it was July. You got drunk.
No reward money.
Any reward money?
No.
Really?
Well, I didn't ask for it. I was just worried about the bird. I thought he was injured.
You don't ask for reward money. You receive reward money.
Yeah, I got no reward money for this
Jesus.
pigeon. He was
now
very
we know,
excited to have him back.
Even if that bird was worth half as much as Armando.
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.